Moira is one of the best designed characters in Overwatch. The primary attack is a channeling ability with no cooldown, or even reloads, just like the ultimate. That way you can just keep shooting without worrying about your aim at all. Perfect character design for players with aiming and healing disabilities. The greatest design decision that Overwatch ever made for a tank was to give 2 machine guns that can be stacked with a lifesteal. That way you can just keep shooting at everyone without worrying about whether your healer is healing you or not. Truly the perfect hero for a solo queue tank player. Don't give a shit about other players. One of the biggest problem with Ashe is that most people playing don't have aiming and tracking feature turned on. Because of this, most people playing against Ashe would just ignore her most of the time. And that makes it the perfect moment for you to turn on a third-party aim tracking feature. If you know, you know, you know. Did you know that the best way to deal with Pharah is just to ignore her completely? That way, as soon as she finished venting all her pent-up rage, every Sora player, without exception, will just get bored and land somewhere. After that, they will just leave you alone for the rest of the game. Here's a pro tip for every Overwatch healers in the game. You don't need to heal the McCree, because your Cassidy will hard carry your team and solo the enemy team by going 1v5 and eliminating everyone. All you have to do is wait for the screen to say victory. You're welcome. Did you know that Brigitte is still the hard carry hero in Overwatch? They nerf her dozens of times, and yet Brigitte is still the most powerful healer in the game. And by popping on her ultimate, you can be sure that Brigitte can whip the crap out of all 5 of the enemy team, even if they have a Mauga. So know that if you still lose, it's because of skill issue. Here's a lies pro tip for every Reaper mains. If you had to deal with a Mauga that gets in your way, just tap him in the shoulder several times, and then he walk away and let you kill their healers. You don't even have to worry about the Mauga going after your healers, because your healer will eliminate him, all on their own. There's a secret strategy that a lot of people don't know about Overwatch. Apart from the team composition, you also need to have team formation. And that is to have your healers come out in front. And once they're eliminated, followed by the solo tank. And last, stick the DPS head out in the open and tank all the shots. And that's how you win in Overwatch. For the enemy team, one of the worst things about Overwatch is the very short far distance. It's so bad that you can even have a third-party aim assist turned on and hitting 100% of your headshots and still not kill anyone until you pop your ult and hope that no monkey fell from the sky. Amazing. Doomfist is the only hero in Overwatch with the extremely high skill requirements, and only Doomfist mains have the skills needed to play Doomfist. That's the only and single reason the Doomfist to meet in the game are always OP. It's not that the Earth Shatter is literally Venture's ult, or even the very short cooldown for the punch that can hit multiple people. It's just skill issue, guys. It's never fair to pitch Mauga mains against Doomfist player. That is because Doomfist players are the highest skilled players in the game. Simply because Doomfist has extremely high skill requirement, and not because that he puts out so much damage with very low cooldowns that even 2 healers focus healing Mauga can't keep Mauga alive. Projectile players have always complained about Hitscan players having abilities that can immediately hit them in the face at pinpoint accuracy. This is in contrast to the skill needed for a projectile heroes, where they have to sit in the back and hold left click the entire time and point the crosshair in the general direction of the enemy team. This is what skill looks like, people. If a Pharah starts bombarding your team, make sure to ignore her. That way she will get bored and leave you alone. But doing that gets very boring very quickly. So what you gotta do is shoot at the rest of the Pharah's team to kill time. And hopefully you get to wipe them out, because otherwise it's a skill issue.
Press Q for play the game, they said. It will be fun, they said. Well, people say a lot of things that are just plain wrong. But this time they were right. And here's the cherry on top. This Pharah thought the rain justice. What an idiot!
Enemy here!
Real heroes don't look at explosions. And sometimes real heroes just don't have what it takes to eliminate the enemy team. This is called skill issue. And all they can do is just simply press Q for play of the game. Well, guess what? These heroes can have the medal ranks. Get good, scrub!
There is an entire class of heroes in Overwatch that takes 0 aiming skills, and that is the projectile heroes. They only have one thing to do: existing! And when they get bored, they can just press left click, and if you hold left click long enough, you're bound to hit something, simply by the law of large numbers. Skills! You can't spell kills without skills. And that is something that all Ramattra mains know and understand very well. And the very pinnacle of skill expression is punching the shit out of everybody to wipe them out. For you, this may be a life-changing moment. But for Ramattra mains, it's just Tuesday. What do you know about Mauga's most powerful abilities? It's called Hero Selection. By simply picking Mauga, you can survive an entire Reaper ultimate, while at the same time your regular primary fire can fully eliminate a full health Reaper as it goes through lifesteal during his ult. And they call this player skill. A big ass truck is barreling towards you at full speed. What do, hotshot? The answer is quite simple, really. You get shattered. And then Reinhardt gets to wipe you out entirely. Do you see what the big problem with this is? Skill issue. All you gotta do is stay away from Reinhardt. Playing against the Hitscan hero is always unfair to the Projectile player. This is because the Hitscan player always have to have a skill the Projectile players don't ever need. And that is the ability to put the crosshair right at the center of the target when you click on him. So the next time you hear Projectile players complain about Hitscan, tell them that it's just a skill issue. Genji mains know that they are the best players in Overwatch. With overstacked ability encapsulation, Genjis will never run out of abilities. And when they get bored, they can just call dibs and play the game by pressing Q. Sure, it takes a lot of skills to solo an entire team, but Genji mains know that they have all the skills they need. Overwatch has an entire hero designed for people with severe disabilities. Moira is designed for people who can't tell the difference between left click and the right click. This is why you always find Moira mains doing lots of damage, when in actuality, what they intended to do was to heal you. Soldier 76 is one of the easiest heroes to play in Overwatch, because unlike other heroes in a game that requires a variety of combination of skills and timing, on top of environmental game sense and positioning, Soldier mains only need one skill, and that is to track the target good enough some of the times. Beyond that, they're just a walking backup healer. Junkrat has always been the hardest hero to master in Overwatch, from using the ultimate that has no directional telegraph, because Junkrat requires a lot of big brain strategizing before you can do anything useful, to knowing where to place your trap so that the monkey will land exactly at the center of it. The game has already been won at the selection screen. By V5, the worst game mode had ever been introduced to Overwatch, because what are you going to do if 4 of your players got caught in a graviton surge and then altered by the Reaper? And that is just stand there and watch as the defeat screen comes up. Psych! The entire enemy team was an AFK bot. What the fuck, Blizzard? When they put a DPS hero under the support category, they weren't kidding, because Illari has one of the highest damage output of any heroes in a game, which makes it a very powerful combination with Zarya's graviton surge. Witnessing all this, there is nothing Moira can do other than to make sure that she responds together with the team. One of the worst things that can happen to an aimbotter is when they get caught in play the game. It's one thing when you're just simply pointing a crosshair in the middle of enemy targets, but the worst is when you get caught turning on your aimbot.
I've got you